Welcome to Spanish Fork 17 coverage of playoff high school baseball. We have Spanish Fork squaring off today against the Ogden Tigers. Tonight's game is brought to you by the Car Guys, Lance Wilson State Farm, MVP Sports, Triple T Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing, Two Jacks Pizza, Mikhail Christiansen and Wise, Attorneys at Law, and Dickerson Automotive. And we appreciate them. Glad to bring you some baseball today. Boney Payton is leading things off for the Tigers. And he will watch pitch number 1 come in for a strike. Cy Nielsen is on the bump for the Dons this afternoon. My name is Mitchell Marshall. Glad to be filling in today and bring you some playoff baseball as that one comes way inside and 2-0 early. Ogden brings in a 14-10 record. They went 9-9 in conference. This one gets launched into shallow center field. And it's going to drop for a leadoff single. As, Brady Brook comes in and takes care of that one. But perfect no man's land single to start things off. That was Boney Payton. Good start to go for the Tigers again. Just 9-9 in conference play, 14-10 overall. Contrast that with Spanish Fork, has had a wonderful year at 22-3 overall, 11-1 in conference play, and those 3 losses all coming by a combined 4 runs. So the Dons looking to make noise as we get underway in postseason play. A quick throw over to Briggs Newman from Nielsen, and he'll now be dealing to Gage Lavelle, the left fielder for the Ogden Tigers. Early on here, Nielsen having trouble finding the strike zone. 3 consecutive balls to start this one off, and then the single to center. Gage showed bunt and thought better of it, and good idea, high and outside. 2 balls and no strikes. Deja vu from the last at bat. We'll see if Lavelle actually tries to bunt his man over, and he will pull back again and take the first strike of the game from Cy Nielsen. So Lavelle awaits the 2-1 from Nielsen. Another cautious throw over. Count remains 2-1. It's a beautiful afternoon in Spanish Fork. It's a little rainy throughout the Utah County today, but a wonderful afternoon for some baseball. And this one gets fouled up and way out of play over the batting cages behind the Spanish Fork dugout. So 2-2 and an opportunity for Nielsen to start this with a punch out. Swing and a miss on the inside, and after some patience, can't wait. Really good movement on that one, and 1 down. Double play is in order for the Dons to try and get it out of the top of the first. Boney Payton remains at first base after his bloop single to lead off the game. Matt Richardson, the Tiger shortstop, up to bat. And the left-handed Nielsen having no problem kind of stepping off and trying to keep Payton close. Newman holding over at first, and that one lands outside. So all 3 at-bats so far. Nielsen's kicked off with a ball each time to get things going. That one fouled up at just in front of the Tigers dugout. 1-1. Richardson waiting the 1-1 and another throw over. Pretty conservative leads over there from Boney Payton thus far, but Nielsen keeping a close eye on it regardless. That was a nice spot if you're a hitter just on that outside half where you want it, and Richardson couldn't catch up. And now 1-2. Another K in line for Cy Nielsen. consecutive batters go down on that low and inside pitch, and they just can't resist, turn in with no shot. And that's back-to-back strikeouts, and all of a sudden after that leadoff runner gets on, 2 quick outs, and the Tigers not able to manufacture any opportunities thus far after the nice leadoff work from Boney Payton. Now cleanup hitter Nick Freeman, DH in the lineup, will go and throw down to first from Cowden, so they're extra cautious of not letting any batters get into scoring position this afternoon. Cowden bounced that one up, though. The 1-0, and that one never quite broke, and easy to see for Freeman and let that one go. 2-0. The third 2-0 count we've seen today, but when he's needed to, Nielsen already been able to pull some strings on pitches and get a couple strikeouts. He gets a big swing there. Play is going to be at second. And we'll wait. The call is it came out of the glove, so safe at second after all of the throwovers. Boney Payton ends up on bag number 2 regardless. Nice throw down from Cowden, and then Tanner Argyle kind of went over the bag and kind of did an awkward somersault, but it didn't look like Payton initially got to the bag when he had slid in. But regardless, that ball ends up on the ground, picked up by Pintar, and now a hit could give Ogden an early 1-0 lead. And a strikeout looking, and there goes Nielsen striking out the side, and the last one, the most satisfying. No swing from Freeman, and it locked him up, and that leadoff single ends up doing no damage, so no worries with having a player reach there in the first. No damage done. So bottom of the first, and the Dons will get their first opportunity. And again, we want to thank those sponsors who allow us to be here and bring these games to you. The Car Guys, Lance Wilson State Farm, MVP Sports, Triple T Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing, 2 Jack's Pizza, Mikkel Christiansen and Wise Attorneys at Law, and Dickerson Automotive. Take a look here at the Dons lineup we're going to see here. Things are going to be led off by Brady Brook, followed by Tanner Argyle, and then Cy Nielsen. If we get past that, Briggs Newman, Brendan Bradford, Josh Cowden, Tay Newman, and Andrew Pintar. Oh, and then Jackson Higginson. Can't count to 9. That's going to be your lineup for this afternoon, but Brady Brook will try and get things rolling. On the mound for the Tigers is Dom Prieto, not in the lineup today with that designated hitter in. Prieto warms up. He's backed up by an outfield in left field, Gage Lavelle. Center, Matt Garcelle. Right, Gage Howard. Boney Payton, the man with the leadoff single, is going to be manning third base. Matt Richardson at shortstop. Matt DeCorso at first, and Miguel Cisneros at second base. And then Jackson Stein is the catcher.
The center fielder, number 2, Brady Brook.
Brady Brook takes the first pitch of these playoffs. It's high for a ball, 1-0. That one gets the outside part of the plate apparently, and 1-1. Brook leaves that one once again. This time it is far enough outside, 2-1. That one straight to second base, and a routine play there for Cisneros. And 1 up and 1 down quickly. But that one was kind of left over, and I think Brady was just a little bit late to it and giving him an opportunity to see what Prieto is pitching and maybe take advantages next time around. And Tanner Argyle will step into the batter's box. And same spot, and that one just tips off of the glove of Cisneros And that is a first pitch single for Argyle. All of those kind of coming in, not a ton of speed, just outside that, away from the hands of each batter, and that one just elevated enough to get over the Tigers' second baseman, and an early base runner for the Dons. Cy Nielsen, got to be feeling good after 3 strikeouts, comes up, pops this one into center field, and it's going to be too shallow. It's going to drop. Argyle will stop at second, and back-to-back singles to the shallow outfield have the Dons in business. 2 on, 1 out for Briggs Newman. See if he can come in and clean things up for the Dons and get an early lead.
First baseman number 14, Briggs Newman.
Tiger fans in the crowds. Good distance drive and coming to support the team in the playoffs. Newman fouls this one back. Just a little off of it there. Want to thank you for joining us, however you're joining us on Spanish Fork 17. You can always find us on YouTube as well as Channel 17, and that one outside to Newman, 1-1. Later on this evening at 6 o'clock, City Council is going to begin on Channel 17. So at that point, if you want to flip over to Channel 16, the game will continue on, or you can head online to the YouTube page, and we will be on there as well, so you will be able to see the end of the game. And I'll remind you as we get a little bit closer, but City Council tonight at 6 o'clock will be on Channel 17. Here's the 2-1 Newman. Fouls this way on out of there. And Tanner Argyle is on second, and Cy Nielsen's on first. Both of them pretty soft singles into right and center field, respectively. 2-2 to Newman. Lets that one fly outside and got our first full count of the afternoon. Brady Brook rounded out to lead things off. So it does leave the double play opportunity open for the Tigers. Prieto's payoff, and that one is low. Bases loaded for Brendan Bradford. Bradford manning right field today, and now is a chance to bring home a couple of his teammates. A knock gets you, depending where, probably gets you a couple run lead, and see if you can drive one to this expansive outfield and try and get a couple more for the Dons. Straight at the middle, too hot to handle for the infielders. 1 run will score. Another runner is being waved home, relay to the plate. It's going to be late, and that allows Bradford to slide into second, and he's got a 2 RBI knock and an early lead for the Spanish Fork Dons. That was just a hot shot right down the middle. No way for Cisneros or Richardson to get to it, and a heads-up play by Cy Nielsen to be on the horse and get all the way around, and Coach was waving him home, and wasn't too bad, especially after the cutoff. Now 2 in scoring position, still just 1 out for the Dons. This one gets launched deep into right center field, and it's going to be caught. Runners will tag. 1 run will score, so an early 3-0 lead in the play at the plate. He is safe. The reach tag by Stein, right as I'm telling you that Briggs Newman's going to score. Excellent play by Bradford of just thinking, oh, they think I'm going to stop, and there's nobody there. The play was close, and absolutely Jackson Stein had an opportunity to swipe the tag, but just inside of that, and 4 runs all of a sudden on the board for the Dons. So a sacrifice fly, a really nice piece of hitting, ends up from Cowden, ends up scoring 2 runs. Pitch 1 is a strike to Tay Newman. Bases now clear for the Dons, but they all came home, so it's all right. 2 down in the inning. Tough break for Prieto. He lets that hard hit ball go, and then just a heads-up base running play gets that extra insurance run, and that one is fouled up and back 1-2. And if you're the Tigers now, it's all about that mindset. It's, we've got plenty of game left. If we can notch a run here and there, we have plenty of time to get 4. As a baseball player, I always think 5 is that where you really think you start using the word route and think you're real deep in the hole. So for Ogden, time now to try and just get out number 3. No unnecessary plays to give more opportunity and get out of this one with just the damage you've seen so far. And a strikeout there for Prieto. That one on the low and inside part didn't look like Newman liked it, but 4 runs do come across for the Dons on 3 hits, a walk, and a sacrifice fly, along with some heads-up base running. So firing on all cylinders so far is Spanish Fork, and we will see what they can do headed into the second inning. We'll have that when we come back on Spanish Fork 17.
And no runners left on base.
Need a new car or truck? The Car Guys has the best selection of used vehicles at the best prices in Spanish Fork. The Car Guys know their automobiles to get you the best car for your needs and your budget. The Car Guys at 872 North Main in Spanish Fork.
In Spanish Fork, see your good neighbor State Farm agent Lance Wilson for your insurance and financial needs.
MVP Sports is the #1 source for sporting goods in Spanish Fork. Football, soccer, all the fall sports, we've got you covered. Check out our new custom t-shirt builder. Design at home and we'll build it for you. MVP Sports, 72 North Main in Spanish Fork.
Matt Garceau leading things off for Ogden. And there's a first pitch strike from Cy Nielsen, who had an excellent game so far, has been helping in those condos on the front on the offensive side, and had 3 strikeouts to get rid of the Tigers back in the first inning. And on offense, he had a single and ended up scoring on a 2-run double. Been able to fool Ogden batters all day. A big swing and a miss from Garceau. 1-2. Garceau will be followed by DeCorso and Stein. As he fouls this one way over into another field. Actually, looks like some little leaguers practicing over there might pick that one up, and count remains 1-2. Swing and a miss. That inside pitch. For some reason, on that movement, Tigers keep on swinging, can't pick that one up, and it's already 4 strikeouts on the day for Nielsen.
Now batting the first baseman, number 3, Max DeCorso.
Max DeCorso will see if he can get things rolling. Things started out pretty good for Ogden as he watches that one come in for a strike on the outside part of the plate. They had the game led off with a single by Boney Payton, and that inside pitch wasn't being thrown by Nielsen quite yet. That one comes in a little high and outside for a ball, but after Payton, even though there were some high ball counts, Nielsen able to pull off 3 consecutive strikeouts. DeCorso continues to foul off the offerings from Nielsen. Lets that one fall low and inside. 2-2. 1 down. The 4th consecutive batter struck out. That one in the dirt as well, and first full count of the day for Cy. This one grounded softly to third. A little bit of speed there all the way across the diamond. He was off the bag. Newman pulled off just a little bit. Newman to Newman there, and Tay pulls Briggs off just by a little bit. A nice stretch and a tough play, really full across the diamond, and it was a hustle play by DeCorso, and I think he'll get an infield hit for that one. And Jackson Stein ready to step in and see if he can move his runner over, and just 1 run at a time start climbing the Tigers back into this one. First pitch is another strike from Nielsen. Following Stein will be Gage Howard. We've seen a lot of pitches thrown down and inside, and the last few have been more in the dirt, and Ogden players have been able to resist. Looks like Stein kind of stepped out and then called time, but it is granted. And that one plants down on low on the inside back, and all of a sudden 2 base runners with 1 out for the Tigers.
Now batting right fielder number
Just
4,
1 out.
Gage Howard.
Gage Howard going to try and get the scoring rolling for the Tigers, with DeCorso at second on an infield hit, and Jackson Stein, who just wore one. Gage shows bunt and pulls back pretty early. That one again, kind of in the inside part, in the dirt from Nielsen, who had that run of strikeouts and now seems to be having a tougher time finding those spots. The 1-0 bunt is down and will roll foul. If Howard's successful with a bunt, it'll be 2 men in scoring position, but also 2 out, and Cisneros will have to come up with a big-time hit. But if he's able to, he'll have the Tigers right back in this one. The 1-1. Outside, and it looks like they've got runner caught in between first and second, but this will also have the opportunity for player to reach third, and won't take the opportunity. Interesting play there. DeCorso really could have headed for third as soon as they locked up, as soon as they locked up Stein in the pickle, but DeCorso does not take advantage, and Stein just gets caught after the pitch comes down and Cowden comes up. He takes a couple steps in the infield, and free out for the Dons. 1 runner does remain on, but now 2 outs with a 2-1 pitch on the way to Gage Howard. Strike 2, 2-2, and all of a sudden Nielsen is a pitch away from pretty easily getting out of this one with no trouble, thanks to the defense behind him taking advantage of a mistake. We've already seen 1 run for the Dons with excellent base running and a mistake from base running. And that one popped right back to Nielsen. Over to Newman, no problem. And Dons erased the threat. There were 2 on with 1 out, but we're about 1 minute later in the game, and nothing ends up coming of it because of that. Gage Howard grounds right back to Nielsen to end things, and the Dons carry a 4-0 lead into the bottom of inning number 2, so they'll try and add on to that one and really put this one away and get their postseason play underway in a strong, strong way. Again, tonight's game is brought to you by these sponsors: the Car Guys, Lance Wilson, State Farm, MVP Sports, Triple T Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing, 2 Jets Pizza, Mikkel Christensen and Wise Attorneys at Law, and Dickerson Automotive. As you finish this broadcast, we invite you to follow our pages on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube, and keep up with the latest shows, live broadcasts, and our SF17 staff. Just go ahead to any of those social networks and search for Spanish Fork 17. And the nice thing about that YouTube page, you can always check out replays of the game. It's just youtube.com/Spanish Fork 17. So As these exciting wins come by, or if your friends miss it, those are always available to you. The Dons return to the plate. Andrew Pintar.
Second baseman number 5, Andrew Pintar.
Gets a lot on that one, but just a foot or so foul down the third base line. Quickly 0-1. Prieto just left a few too many balls that Dons were able to take as they hung and get good swings on him. That one a little late, but pops off of the glove, and it's going to be safe at first base and an error. Ooh. Pintar falls on his way to second. And umpires are appealing. And they're going to give him the base because of the overthrow, and that ends up being beneficial. Once you've run past first, generally considered safe on that throwback. As he turned to second, you can catch him, but he tripped pretty early on, and they're just going to rule the overthrow so that he advances to that other base, and it's essentially a leadoff double for Pintar, who did a simple ground out, but the throwing error, or well, first it bounces off of the glove and then the throwing error has him in a rough spot, as that's a bad bunt off of the bat of Jackson Higginson, who gets that one straight up and back and spends a long time in the air, but luckily was far enough back, no shot for Jackson Stein, the catcher, to try and move back and get the easy out. So an error has a runner at second for the Dons, trying to get run number 5 on the board. 1-1 here to Higginson, and after that the lineup will turn over. Brady Brook step in for the second time. Higginson squares for a bunt, once again pulls back as that one's low and inside. 2-1. Higginson shows bunt, pulls back, one more ball, see if he gets the opportunity to swing away with an advantageous count or tries to just find his way on base and takes it. Shows bunt, that one's high and a walk. He didn't give him anything to possibly move his runner over, but on the other hand gave him a free bag. So the 8 and 9 hole hitters for the Dons reach.
Now batting the center fielder number 2, Brady Brook.
And the lineup is now turned over with base runners on. A fresh start for the Dons, trying to add on to that 4-0 lead. High once again. We've seen 5 consecutive balls thrown by Prieto, who has had a rough start to this one. That's 2 walks. And his defense has also made a couple of mistakes behind him. Brooks takes that one just a bit outside, and 2-0. Pintar on second, Higginson on first. And the balls keep coming. Prieto not able to find that strike zone. 3-0 early. Brook looking to become the second part of back-to-back walks and have the bases full of Dons for Tanner Argyle, who singled in his first at-bat. Prieto gets the strike call on the outside half there, and Brook taken all the way. 3-1 once again. And a big swing and a miss. That one snuck under Brooke. A nice off-speed piece of pitching and probably landed in for a strike, one of the few. So Prieto with a gem after a difficult run of pitches. Here's the payoff. This one is going to bounce way up, play at second. Got him. No chance for the double play, but runners at the corners for the Dons. Excellent play there. That almost looked like in softball, the bigger balls bounce a lot, and you get a lot of hits that just bounce over an infielder. That looked like it could be dangerous, but a good job to get the out and the lead runner.
Now batting the shortstop, number 3.
So Argyle now with still just one out. He's got 2 on to try and bring home, and he's got Pintar just 90 feet away. That one outside runner goes, and no opportunity for Stein after that one snuck away. So 2 runners now in scoring position. Brooke manning second base and Pintar at third. Argyle launches this one. Easily caught. There's going to be a tag, no play. Wise decision there to hold up, and nice job by Prieto of getting one of the few plays that was hit so hard and didn't have much air under it, so no way to tag up, but Gage Lavelle got that one in quickly. Runner holds, and now with 2 outs, if the Dons want to advance their lead, it's Cy Nielsen's going to have to help his own cause once again. He just gets a little bit on that one, and the play will be at first. And Nielsen just gets beat out and no damage done. Fantastic job of recovery by Prieto to keep that one close. Able to get a couple of simple plays with a man at third and acquire both outs without that getting home. Frustrating moment probably for the Dons, but they still hold a 4-0 lead.
And 2 runners left on base. After 2 complete innings and score, Ogden 0, Spanish 4.
So we'll go ahead and take a break before we get going on inning number 3.
Need a new car or truck? The Car Guys has the best selection of used vehicles at the best prices in Spanish Fork. The Car Guys know their automobiles to get you the best car for your needs and your budget. The Car Guys at 872 North Main in Spanish Fork.
In Spanish Fork, see your good neighbor State Farm agent Lance Wilson for your insurance and financial needs.
MVP Sports is the #1 source for sporting goods in Spanish.
Welcome back to Nelson Field. Pitch 1 from Nielsen is a strike to Cisneros, who is the 9-hole hitter leading things off for the Tigers, who had a couple of base runners not able to capitalize. And quickly an 0-2 count as that one flies up and back foul. Cisneros will be followed by Boney Payton, who has hit number 1 for the Tigers today. Ball 1, 1-2 is the count. Base is clear. Cisneros has had a busy day at second base. Probably does have an error to his credit. Let one bounce off the glove and then overthrew it, allowing a Dons runner to head to second. Swing and a miss strikes him out, but that run didn't eventually score as the Tigers kind of lock things down. But Cisneros goes down swinging, and that's strikeout number 5 of the day for Cy Nielsen. So Boney Payton for his second hit takes a big swing and a miss at the first throw from Nielsen. ball one, makes it 1-1. Again, bases cleared. 1 out for the Tigers. Boney just gets a piece of that one. Umpire cleaning things up a little. Peyton lays off that one in the dirt, 2-1. No walks on the day so far for Nielsen. Foul ball we've seen a lot from the Tigers today, and that puts Boney in the 2-2 count. Continues to fight off these pitches from Nielsen. Remains 2-2. And that one down inside. Peyton does not like it, but it's strikeout number 6 for Cy Nielsen. Second of the day where he's able to get him looking.
Fielder number 24, Gage Lovell.
Hard high and outside for ball number 1. And does the complete opposite to get a big swing and a miss from Gage Lovell, who took care of business in left field defensively. This one bounces up. Argyle pick it up on the run. Sidearm throw. Nice routine play, making it look easy. And the Dons once again keep on rolling with the shutout of the Tigers, who been able to get a couple base runners, but nothing going there, and a couple more strikeouts made that one look easy for Nielsen, and that was his first 3 up, 3 down of the day. Again, we're here thanks to a handful of sponsors. We want to shout out to the Car Guides, Lance Wilson, State Farm, MVP Sports, Triple T, Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing, to Jack's Pizza, Mikhail Christiansen and Wise Attorneys at Law, and Dickerson Automotive. And the first one we talked about, the Car Guys, you can find them at 872 North Main Street. Give them a call at 801-794-0077 or go on the web to thecarguysut.net. Say they offer the best prices on vehicles in Spanish Fork, and they have knowledgeable sales representatives that are committed to providing with a no-pressure buying experience, and they're the go-to dealer in Spanish Fork, and we appreciate them. And when you're in need of a car, go ahead and head on down to the Car Guys on Main Street. Can't miss them. And a beautiful afternoon for some baseball, and the Dons will head back and try and add to this lead. They had 2 runners in scoring position, 2 on with 1 out, and then 2 runners in scoring position with 2 out, and were not able to capitalize in inning number 2. So in the bottom of the 3rd, they'll be led off by Briggs Newman, who walked in his first trip to the plate.
Leading off for the Dons in the bottom of the 3rd inning, the first baseman number 14, Briggs Newman.
Prieto remains the pitcher. 0-1. Quickly 0-2 now on Newman. Will be followed by Brendan Bradford and Josh Cowden. Newman gets a little defensive and fouls that one up, and foul over the Dons dugout. Way outside for the first ball of this at-bat. Another easy one for Newman to avoid, and he's climbed his way back into this count, 2-2. Briggs launches this one into shallow right field, and that'll fall for a leadoff single. 1 for 1 on the day for Briggs Newman. Brendan Bradford.
Now batting, the right fielder, number 20, Brendan Bradford.
Last time up, he had a pretty soft hit, but because of the throw home, he was able to advance to second base. Had to make a show of moving away from that one, but it's strike one. Goes bunt straight back, and excellent play by Prieto to get the out at first. Not the most ideal bunt, but absolutely no shot for Prieto to get the out at third. So with one out, Dons have run number 5, 90 feet away. Always nice when your 5-hole hitter is there to lay down a bunt for you. And now Josh Cowden will step in his last time up. He had a sacrifice fly that ended up scoring 2 after some aggressive base running, and will take a little bit of deja vu, would get another run home here, and he does so. This one, same spot. Run will come home. And another run comes in for the Dons. I'm not going to say I called it, but it worked out just like it did before. And Briggs Newman finds his way across the plate. Now with the bases clear, Tay Newman, who is the lone strikeout of the afternoon for Prieto, with 2 outs and the bases clear. Pull that one foul down the third base side. That one falls in for strike 2 quickly, an 0-2 hold. We saw the same thing happen to Briggs Newman, who battled his way back and eventually got a single. That single utilized a sac bunt and a sac fly. So great execution on the small ball by the Dons to get their 5th run of the afternoon. That one misses, 1-2 to Tay Newman. This one floats in for an easy catch for Gage Howard, and the damage was limited to 1 run, but great offensive structured inning for the Dons, and we will head to inning number 4, 5-0, the home team winning thus far. We'll be right back on Spanish Fork 17.
The Dons had 1 run.
Need a new car or truck? The Car Guys has the best selection of used vehicles at the best prices in Spanish Fork. The Car Guys know their automobiles to get you the best car for your needs and your budget. The Car Guys at 872 North Main in Spanish Fork.
In Spanish Fork, see your good neighbors State Farm agent Lance Wilson for your insurance and financial needs.
MVP Sports is the #1 source for sporting goods in Spanish Fork. Football, soccer, all the fall sports, we've got you covered. Check out our new custom t-shirt builder. Design at home and we'll build it for you. MVP Sports, 72 North Main in Spanish Fork.
We are ready to get inning number 4 of postseason play underway. Tigers return to the batter's box to try and get something rolling against Cy Nielsen, who's already got 6 strikeouts this afternoon and went 3 up and 3 down in inning number 3.
Leading off for the Tigers in the top of the 4th inning, the shortstop, number 23, Matt Richardson.
Matt Richardson, one of those 6 strikeouts, steps back in and takes a big hack, and about halfway through, I think he knew it was to no avail and quickly strike one. And deja vu for strike number 2. That one misses. The nice luxury of going 0-2. You get the opportunity to play with some pitches and see if you can get him to swing at something outside the zone. And again, an Ogden player, Richardson, just kind of steps out when Nielsen was really already in his motion, and that one misses outside as well. 2-2. And that one was in the dirt and goes all the way to the backstop. It's a strikeout, but regardless, Richardson will reach. So that one on the dirt on the inside where he got his first couple swinging strikeouts, did Nielsen. And this time it was too much to handle for Cowden, gets away, and the leadoff runner is on. Pitch 1 to Nick Freeman. Fouled way back over the Dons dugout. Freeman, the designated hitter, struck out looking to end the first inning. And he rockets this one down the third base line. And Richardson makes his way all the way to third. He's not going to risk going any further. But a double to get 2 in scoring position with nobody out, and all of a sudden Tigers are swinging the bat away from finding themselves back in this game. Just a hard hit, textbook ball down the third base line. Nice piece of hitting there from Nick Freeman. Matt Garceau also struck out during his first at-bat to lead off the second inning with a couple ribbies waiting for him on second and third. Well, Nielsen going to have to try and pull off some magic. The Tigers continue to swing with some pitches that are so far inside they could probably stand in and get hit. 0-1. That one nicer to look at, but another swing and a miss. Nielsen able to get ahead in these counts, but Tigers have found a way to manufacture these base runners. One great piece of hitting and one just strikeout that was baffling, and the ball got away, but a big swing and a miss. Maybe over anxious there, and Garceau makes it look very easy for Nielsen, who's already, look, he's standing, leaning, looking, ready to go. The batter's nowhere near the batter's box, hasn't taken his practice swings, tapped his plate, and Nielsen is in the zone, ready to roll and get out of this one. Big swing and a miss. That's the 4th pitch in a row that's been swung at and missed by Ogden. And if you're a Tiger, you got to stop and take a breath, realize there's an opportunity here, 2 on 1 out, and keep your eye on these balls. That one gets that inside part for a strike. And that's what confusing about another 0-2 count is the Tigers seeing these in the dirt on the inside, and then they get the one that just hits that perfect part, and that's why they're swinging and missing so much. 0-2, that one way outside that looked like there was supposed to be a little bit more to it and just never moved. So 1-2 on Max DeCorso, who does have a single on the day. Repeat performance will really go a long way in this one. Takes that one low, and 0-2. We've worked our way back to 2-2. Excellent job by players on both teams today so far, getting into 2 strike counts and being patient, working their way back. Ogden, especially, a lot of foul balls fighting off these pitches. Many have struck out, but regardless, battling back. And that one stays outside as well, and a big swing and a miss by DeCorso.
Now batting the catcher, number 11, Jackson Stone.
We'll call that strikeout number 8 for Nielsen. He certainly had that ninth, but got away and Don't get out. This one shuffled into the shallow outfield. Fantastic timing on a 2-0 knock, but the throw in too much to get this second runner home, but Tigers are now on the board. Jackson Stein, the catcher, got hit by a pitch in his first bat back, comes back in with 2 outs and swings at pitch number 1 and is able to get out into shallow left. Higginson gets it in quickly, though, and doesn't allow Nick Freeman to score. Just shallow enough and nice defensive play. So Gage Howard going to try and get another run home for the Tigers with runners at the corner. This one trickled to third. Newman scoop to first. A little bit of trickery to try and make him think that the ball was taken. He reached for the tag, almost fooled me. Hard to see from here. But that throw nowhere close. And now runners at second and third with 2 outs and a second run across the board for the Tigers. So Tay Newman struggled at third today with a couple of throws, and Nielsen worked his way out of their first opportunity, but not there. So 5-2, a lot more manageable looking scoreboard for the Tigers. And now Cisneros, who went down on 3 consecutive pitches swinging in the third, has an opportunity to really get the Tigers in this one if he can put one in play. That one bounces away, and I think we'll call that a pass ball. I think that one may be on Cowden, and another run comes across the board for the Tigers. So Nielsen let those 2 runners on, then seemed to be really getting in a rhythm, but a defensive mistake and 2 really key hits. And the Tigers have themselves right back in this one. 5-3 with runner on third. Little meeting at the mound, and now Nielsen knows he's going to work quickly and just knows he's 1 out away. You still have a 2-run lead. You still have your 9-hole hitter up for the Tigers. 2-1 on Cisneros. That one bounces just foul. Runner at third, 2 balls and 2 strikes on Cisneros with 3 runs on the board in the inning for the Tigers. Big swing and a miss. And that'll end things. Back-to-back swing and strikeouts. That's strikeout number 9. So excellent for Nielsen, but a defensive mistake and a couple of great pieces of hitting from the Tigers, and they've got themselves right back in this one. 5-3. The Dons are leading, and they're going to have to come up and get some more insurance runs. Now all of a sudden they had that comfortable lead, but they blew a couple of opportunities. They're going to have to make sure that they can capitalize next time they're able to get those base runners on. And once again, want to thank our sponsors, the Car Guys, Lance Wilson State Farm, MVP Sports, Triple T Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing, 2 Jack's Pizza, Mikhail Christensen and Wise Attorneys at Law, and Dickerson Automotive. And great group helping us out. Dickerson Automotive is way up north on Main Street, 1900 North Main Street, and you can also find them at dickersonauto.com. Easy to remember there. And say they have the finest repairs with personal care, and Todd or Zach will get your car running right. And I think that's always the best place to go anytime you need some automotive help somewhere where you're on a first name basis, and you know they're helpful hometown and gonna get you back on your way safely in your automobile. I want to thank Dickerson Automotive for helping us be here and present some games to you. It is, of course, playoff time, so great time for the Dons to try and continue this role as they start to move into tougher competition and make their way through these 4A playoffs. There will, of course, be some shuffling in the region next year's and the classes, and now's the time when Spanish Fork wants to continue showing that they are the baseball powerhouse. Pintar, who reached on an error by Cisneros in his first at bat, will take pitch number 1 for a strike.
Leading off for the Dons in the bottom of the 4th inning, the second baseman, number 5, Andrew Pintar.
Oh, 1 no work. Close 1-1 as Prieto tries to just keep things calm, see if he can get his offense back up to continue to come back. And this one launched to left field. It kept moving, and it'll drop. Looked like a routine play, and Lovell just kind of slow ran towards it, was trying to track the ball, and eventually it just kept on moving. Ended up near the fence and deep into that outfield. A great piece of hitting, a leadoff double for Pintar. Jackson Higginson, he walked during his first at-bat. So that's the second time Pintar has led off an inning, second time he's reached. So a great boon for the team to have their 8-hole hitter reaching base, and now see if Higginson can once again turn this one over. He gets a bunt down. Easy play for Prieto at first, and perfect execution to make sure there's no shot to get the lead runner over at third. So Higginson with an excellent sack bunt, and Pintar is 90 feet away. Twice now we've seen, ever since the little explosion of runs in the first inning, the Dons have been more than willing to play small ball, manufacture runs. We saw them get 5 that way, and now they're just in a need of 1 hit to get run number 6, thanks to another sacrificed bunt. Oh, 1 to Brook. Right down the infield hole on the right side, and run will score 6-0. He's the Don lead with 1 on and 1 out. Don Prieto will now deal to Tanner Argyle, who had a single in the first inning and flew out to left field in inning number 2. Prieto looks at first and kind of hops over. We haven't seen him throw over at all, but now you have an anxious player over there. Brady Brook, also your center fielder, your leadoff hitter, known for some speed. Argyle takes ball 1. Argyle pops this one up to shallow second, and Brook doing a great job of being very aware of that pop out, because he was ready to move on to second. So 2 down, 1 across for the Dons, and Cy Nielsen going to try and keep this one alive.
Now batting the pitcher number 30, Cy Nielsen.
Cy gets a hold of this one deep into left field, and foul. That actually leaves my field of vision a tree right there, so if he keeps running, I'll know it's a home run. But able to get a big piece of that one, ends up being a very, very long strike, 0-1. Nielsen fouls this one off. Brady Brook with the RBI single remains at first base with 2 outs for the Dons, looking to add to a 6-3 lead that at one time was a 5-0 lead. O2 hole for Nielsen, gonna have to battle back in. Takes that one in the dirt for ball 1. This one too hot down the third base side. And Brooks gonna hustle into third, and the Tigers didn't see it coming, and he's safe. Really, if the ball hadn't been cut off, it should have been playable, but once again, Tigers caught unaware of the runner taking that extra bag, and the aggressive base running pays off for Brady. Now runners at the corners with 2 out for the Dons. But Nielsen hard hitting in that at-bat with a couple of big fouls, and then able to whip that one out of the reach of Boney Payton.
Running speed up number 13, Carson Chappell.
Briggs Newman stepping in, has a walk and a single today. 1 for 1 officially, and looking to advance this lead for the Dons again. This one, once again, too much for Boney Payton, and runners at first and second at 2 outs will be the result. And of course there, Brady Brook crosses the plate, and his aggressive base running ends up as an extra RBI. And it looks like we may get a pitching change here for the Ogden Tigers. So Briggs Newman comes through with the RBI, and Brendan Bradford will come up. He is 1 for 1 on the day with a double and a sacrifice bunt. I think we're getting a pitching change, but they're still discussing things. After it was 5-0, but then the offense kind of brought things back, and it looked like Prieto might have the chance to continue to eat up innings and keep his team near. But this is situation getting a little bit more dangerous for him.
Now batting the right fielder, number 20, Brendan Bradford.
So Brendan Bradford, like I said, double in the first and a sacrifice bunt. That was kind of part of that manufacturing run, number 5. That one over Bradford's head. In the inning so far, the Dons have 4 hits. Double by Pintar, single by Brook, Nielsen, and Newman. Argyle, the lone out, who popped out to second base. This one struck well into left field. It'll be caught, and that helps to end the inning, but the Dons offense firing once again and advancing their lead once again, and now the Tigers got to keep coming on back. They weren't able to hold it close, but still not out of this one. We'll be back with inning number 5. Thanks for tuning in here on Spanish Fork 17.
The Dons had 2 runs on 4 hits.
Need a new car or truck? The Car Guys has the best selection of used vehicles at the best prices in Spanish Fork. The Car Guys know their automobiles to get you the best car for your needs and your budget. The Car Guys at 872 North Main in Spanish Fork.
In Spanish Fork, see your good neighbors State Farm agent Lance Wilson for your insurance and financial needs.
MVP Sports is the #1 source for sporting goods in Spanish Fork. Football, soccer, all the fall sports, we've got you covered. Check out our new custom t-shirt builder. Design at home and we'll build it for you. MVP Sports, 72 North Main in Spanish Fork.
Seven to 3, Spanish Fork Dons leading the Ogden Tigers. Able to After leading 5-0, the Tigers picked up 3, and the Dons able to tack on a couple of insurance runs. And Cy Nielsen, who is 9 strikeouts on the day, will continue to deal. Boney Payton, who is singled and struck out looking this afternoon, will try and get things going the way he got the game going with that leadoff single. 4-run deficit once again for the Tigers. In the dirt from Nielsen, 1-0. This one with some lift to center, moving back is Brook. Makes the play. He's a little shallow for that one, but no problem taking care of it. 1 up and 1 down quickly.
Number 24, Gage Lovell.
Gage Lovell has struck out today and grounded out to short. Off speed and outside, 1-0 early on Lavelle. Quickly 2-0 is that one. Misses as well by quite a bit. Nielsen keeping him coming and missing in 3 different spots with his first 3-0 count of the day. And Boney Payton looking to take here and try and get a walk to get things started. Asked for time, not granted, and strike 1 on the outside. Interesting that he asked and he kind of had to bring his hand back really late. I'm sure he was taking regardless. I don't know why he asked for time on a 3-0 pitch. So he gets this one, and it's going to fly into center. Brook, back-to-back outs, takes care of business once again. In a game like this, you need base runners, and if your leading offense Spies level didn't continue to try and take a couple pitches, interesting to ask for time, and also interesting that it wasn't granted because a couple of Tigers have really very quickly stepped out today, and maybe the umpire just quietly granting time, but it's really thrown Nielsen off. And that one way inside on Matt Richardson, who's struck out swinging in the first and then struck out swinging in the fourth, but was able to reach because the ball got away from Josh Cowden. And he ended up being the first run of the day for the Tigers. Being swing and a miss, couldn't find that one. Base is clear, 2 outs, both fly balls to Brady Brook in center. The 2-2. Down and in, got another full count. Richardson fights that one away. Payoff again. This one grounded softly. Newman on the run. It falls under his glove. No shot for Argyle, who trailed him. And a runner on with 2 outs. So just a soft grounder in very tough spot where you really got to be able to pick it up moving. And Newman not able to push it down and get it over. Nick Freeman had a double his last time up. Struck out looking back in the first inning to end that first inning. Takes strike 1. High 1-1. Again, Richardson, the Tiger on first. The 1-1. Low. That inside spot has been favorable for Nielsen all day, and he picks up strike number 2. Big swing and a miss by Freeman, and the Tigers go down without any real threat. One runner gets aboard, but strikeout number 10 ends the inning for Nielsen. So the 7-3 lead remains for the Dons, and they'll come up for the bottom of inning number 5 and continue to add to that. Probably feel the need with the Tigers able to get some action going and get a handful of runs. The mistakes have continued a little bit for the Dons, allowing base runners in the majority of the innings today. But I want to thank you for tuning in to Spanish Fork 17, and tonight's game is brought to you by the Car Guys, Lance Wilson State Farm, MVP Sports, Triple T Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing, Mikhail Christiansen and Wise, Attorneys at Law, and Dickerson Automotive. And, of course, 2 Jack's Pizza at 30th North Main Street, or 2jackpizza.com. Get pizza, pasta, bread, wings, salad, of course, nice drinks. They deliver. You take out, take the family in to 2 Jack's. Fantastic pizza right there on Main Street. They keep the city fed and keep us on the air, so we appreciate 2 Jack's Pizza. So, Don's going to take another step into the batter's box, taking care of business thus far today, but sure in no mood to let this one end. Cowden will lead things off.
Tigers, number 2, Miguel Cisneros.
So Cisneros, who has been playing second base, has an error on the day, will step in for Prieto, and if we can get that change at second, I will grab that as soon as we can for you. But the Tigers undergo a pitching change after Prieto gives up 7 runs in 4 innings pitched. So Boney Payton has moved to second.
Leading off the Dons in the bottom of the 5th inning.
Was previously at third.
Cowden.
I believe Prieto is at third. Cowden takes pitch number 1 high. He has 2 sacrifice flies on the day, so a couple of RBIs. Productive outs for Josh as that off-speed pitch fools him 1-1. Skied. This looks like it's going to fall to the third base area. It's picked up, and a quick out to get things going for Cisneros. Tay Newman struck out looking and flew out to right. He's due the only Don to not reach base today. I take that back. Cowden had not reached base, hitting those back-to-back sacrifice flies. That one fouled up and back. Base is clear, 1 out. Don's sitting on a 7-3 lead. Nice inside pitch. That was very Cy Nielsen-like. That's how he's been getting batters today, and it's strike 2 on Tay Newman. Outside in the dirt, 2-2. Tay grounds this one to third, and it trickles past a pair of Tigers for a one-out single. It's a hard hit ground ball that was just out of the reach of a couple of Ogden players, and first time on base today for Tay, and Andrew Pintar will step in. This is the first time he's come up to bat without leading off, but he's been able to reach in consecutive at-bats.
Now batting second baseman number 5, Andrew Pintar.
So it looks like Boney Payton moved to second, as that one falls for a ball, and the designated hitter Nick Freeman has moved into third, so he was responsible for the missing the grounder on the last play. This one struck with a lot of heat down the third baseline. And once again, a hustle play to third. And that one there in time, but skips away from Freeman, which also allows the runner to move to second. So a pair of Dons in scoring position.
Now batting left fielder number 1, Jackson Higginson.
Higginson takes that one a little high and outside, but have a day, Andrew Pintar, who reached on an error in the second, but has a double and a single to his name when a single that he kind of stretched into a double on the throw. And 2-0 quickly on Higginson, who's got a walk and a sacrificed bunt. So no recorded outs. That's the way I like to look at it. Big swing and a miss, 2-1. 7-3, Spanish Fork leads, and right now threatening to extend that lead. And that one gets in on the lower outside part of the plate for a strike, 2-2. And that one just hung for a long time. It was a 2-strike swing, but too tempting for Higginson to try and lay off of it. Just kind of hung there, and hard one to really find and get on. Ends up fouling it back. And this one, a hard swing skied up. Cisneros calls for it and grabs it. That one in the air for a very long time. Generally, you do not want your catcher coming off the mound, or your pitcher coming off the mound and handling that one, but no problem there for Cisneros, and now he's just one batter away from escaping a dangerous inning without any damage. But Don's still on second and third.
Now batting the center fielder number 2, Brady Brook.
But Brady Brook grounded out to second, reached first on a fielder's choice, and then on a single. This one is a wild pitch, and now run number 8 comes through for the Dons. Heads up base running from Tay Newman, who got the offense going with a single in this inning. So the lead is 8-3. Runner still on third base. And Brady Brook takes a big old hack. Has to do a little pirouette at the end there. 1-1. Two balls, one strike.
Dang it! You scared me.
Gets hold of this one. Down into deep right field, but just hangs around long enough for Gage Howard to pick it up. And only one run in the inning, but Don's able to add a little bit more. They lead 8-3 as we head to inning number 6. See what the Tigers can do when we come back on Spanish Fork 17.
In the bottom of the fifth inning, the Dons have
Need a new car or truck? The Car Guys has the best selection of used vehicles at the best prices in Spanish Fork. The Car Guys know their automobiles to get you the best car for your needs and your budget. The Car Guys at 872 North Main in Spanish Fork.
In Spanish Fork, see your good neighbor State Farm agent Lance Wilson for your insurance and financial needs.
MVP Sports is the #1 source for sporting goods in Spanish Fork. Football, soccer, all the fall sports, we've got you covered. Check out our new custom t-shirt builder. Design at home and we'll build it for you. MVP Sports, 72 North Main in Spanish Fork.
Back at Nelson Field, Spanish Fork Dons leading the Ogden Tigers 8-3 in game number 1 of the playoffs for both teams.
Top of the sixth inning, number 7, Connor Howard.
So Connor Howard is at bat. This is his first of the day. Previously in the 5 spot, Matt Garceau struck out a couple of times. Quickly 2-0 from Nielsen, and that one looked like he went. He did 2-1. Nielsen with 10 strikeouts on the day and no walks to his name. Tigers do have a handful of hits, but their errors made possible, or their runs made possible by some errors as well. So Nielsen been excellent today, and this is a warm up for him. You know, hoping to go deep in the run and continue to get heavy strikeout games and find his groove for the postseason. That one looked like it was inside for the walk, but it ends up being strikeout number 11, and Howard didn't like it, but that is the call. That's the third strikeout looking today for Ogden. Well, that one was a little inside. It's a big swing and a miss there from DeCorso. That's definitely a strike that's been called all day long. First step out of the day for Howard, so it may not have known, but and there it is. That's the same one that we just saw get the strikeout 0-2 very quickly on DeCorso, who has already struck out today swinging and also does have a single this afternoon. Outside ball 1-2. And that one, too much for DeCorso to handle. A strikeout number 12 for Nielsen.
Now batting the catcher, number 11, Jackson Stein.
So Jackson Stein has been hit by a pitch and has a single today, so been able to get on each time he's at bat, and that one way inside. With 2 down, Tigers running out of outs to try and bring this one back. They got it to 5-3, but Dons have been able to slowly increase that lead, and Tigers have, other than that one inning, not been able to chip their way back in. Two balls and 1 strike with the bases clear and 2 outs. We're in the top of the 6th inning. Outside again, 3-1. Nielsen did have a 3-0 count that last inning that ended in a strikeout. And that'll end up being a base. That's the second time we've seen that happen today as well. So a runner gets on with 2 outs.
Now batting right fielder, number 4, Gage Howard.
Gage Howard has grounded out a couple times, once to the pitcher and once to third base. Nowhere near that one. Quickly 0-1.
I was totally not drawing you.
0-2 now on Howard, who now going to have to choke up and defend, and thinking of this one in broad terms, got to make something happen here. Give your team a realistic chance. 1-2. This one kind of late to it, able to get a lot on it, fouls it way up, but is camped under, and no problem for Pintar, who's had a great day on both sides of the game, offense and defense. Camps under that one and no threat, and Spanish Fork going to have the bottom of the sixth here to try and add to their lead and then try and shut this one down for good, and Tigers will be down to their last chance, down by at least 5. And once again, I want to thank you for tuning in today to this presentation of playoff baseball between Spanish Fork and Ogden. This game is brought to you by the Car Guys, Lance Wilson State Farm, MVP Sports, Triple T Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing, 2 Jacks Pizza, McKell Christensen Wise Attorneys at Law, and Dickerson Automotive. And I think fitting to be here with Triple T Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing, especially for cooling. Maybe I'm just a little bit warm in this booth. It's actually a beautiful day out, but definitely rising temperatures. Triple T Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing is at 1550 North Main Street in Spanish Fork. Most importantly, at tripletheating.com. They're the expert in heating, air conditioning, and plumbing services in Utah County and Washington County. It's a family-owned company that aims to make your home more comfortable no matter what season it is. So, summer approaching. Keep that AC rolling. I consider that a worthy financial sacrifice at times to keep that home nice and comfortable. You can head to Triple T for those needs. So here we go. Bottom of inning number 6. Tanner Argyle
Leading off to the dog.
headed up. He's got a single on the day and then flew out to left and popped out to second base. That one passes all the way back to the backstop. Cisneros remains the pitcher for Ogden. Two and 0. This one floated deep into the hole. Tough play to make. And that's one you may want to hold on to. Matt Richardson able to pick that one up on the run, but very deep in that hole and lots of speed from Argyle. And he was almost to that bag. You don't want any unnecessary throws. Those errors have given opportunities for the Dons offense today. Nielsen working on a great game on the mound and looking to do good things on offense once again. He's got 2 singles on the day, did ground out to short. First pitch to Nielsen outside. One-0 to Nielsen. Runner goes. It's a hit and run, and that one flies into left field. And this time the Tigers very aware of the fact that Dons have been trying to grab third on those hits out to left field, where sometimes it's a closer play, so it's safer to stay, but they've caught him by surprise that time. Gage Lovell was ready, but quickly 2 Dons with back-to-back singles to get this inning rolling.
Newman running speed up number 13, Carson Chappell.
Briggs Newman has walked and has 2 singles, so 2 for 2 officially. Been perfect on the day. Takes that one high and outside. That's the high spot some power hitters like, some don't. That was just below the shoulders, can sometimes really drive that one. Sure, it'd feel good for Briggs to get a big hit here. He takes a swing at this one, fouls it just past first base, and that's picked up by DeCorso. And that's the first out of the inning for Spanish Fork. So the first recorded out of the day for Briggs Newman, and now Brendan Bradford, who's got a double, a sacrifice bunt, and a fly out to left. Going to try and take advantage of some traffic on the base paths. Watches that one. It floats just past the catcher, and the throw down. Called him safe. That was a close play. It really didn't get that far, and both runners kind of hesitated, and then they decided to go. And had a pretty good defensive play by Jackson Stein, but he's not able to get to the out. And now with just one down, Don's a swing away as this one flows straight back and actually falls kind of right in front of me, just in the booth at the top of the stands behind the dish. 1-1 with 2 on and 1 out. That pass ball allowing a couple Dons to move. That one fouled straight back as well. 1-2. A couple of nice hacks from Brendan Bradford. That one inside, 2-2. High and inside, that one just almost brushing the shoulder. Full count, payoff pitch. Fouled back. It's been a busy at bat for Brendan. A few solid foul balls and worked his way to 3-ball count. That one pulled big time, not able to lay off that inside pitch. Might be good awareness too, as that's kind of been called a strike all day long. Cisneros has allowed a couple of runs on the day. 3 since he came in for Prieto. Just pitched the 5th and now the 6th. That one outside, bases full of Dons. For Josh Cowden, who has a couple sacrifice flies, and he can do that once again. He's able to lift both very well into left field, semi-deep left field both times, and drive in a couple runs, and then he popped out to third base. Pulls that one, see if there's an opportunity to play for it. Ends up too far out there for Gage Howard, manning right field. Count asks for time, gonna fix his elbow pad there. 0-1. Takes a big shot at this one. It's deep into center field. Garceau might have been too shallow. It's gonna fall. 2 runs will score, and they will hold runner number 3. So after a couple of fly balls, finally Cowden able to get this one to fall, and he gets 2 RBIs out of it. Nice double to deep, deep center. And he is at second. Nielsen remains at third, so 2 in scoring position. Well, Two pinch runners are currently in the game.
Third baseman, number 15, Dave Newman. Running speed up, number 10, Riley Hess.
So Riley Hess and Carson Chappell are the runners on for pitcher and catcher right now, as that one is high and inside to Tay Newman. But Josh Cowden hit it deep enough to lose it in the sky, and no outfielder able to get back there. They're playing pretty shallow. And he gets a 2-run double. Bases were full of Dons at the time. Now still 2 in scoring position. Newman had a single his last time up. Tay did strike out looking in the first and then flew out to right in the third, but came up for his first knock of the day last inning and has a couple of RBIs waiting on base. Still just 1 out. He's looking at a 1-2 count from Cisneros. And that one took a while to float to its spot, and they liked it, but the umpire didn't. 2-2. This one, well struck. Falls right in front of the left fielder, and 1 run will score, but because of the floating nature, that's all that'll come across. But another double back-to-back for the Dons. So Cowden and Newman with back-to-back doubles. Both of those have ended up with runners on second and third. Very deep. That one just 1 RBI because almost was caught. So a good cautious piece of running from Riley Hess. And now Pintar, who's been the best Don at the plate today, has an opportunity with that 1 out. Still the only one on the board. 11-3. Spanish Fork now piling it on. That one well struck down the third base line. It moved past the base. Ooh. Looked like it could have been fair past the base, but ruled foul, and we'll do it again. 1-1. Way inside there. Pintar reached on an air, and it was a hard hit ball, so give him some credit there. Then he has a double and a single. That single was kind of a double. He was able to advance on the throw. Well struck right at third. Excellent heads-up play at third base by, let's see, they've moved Nick Freeman over there. So Nick Freeman with almost reactionary play. I used to get those when I played first base, and people kind of applaud you for it, but really it's do or die. You just kind of stick your glove out there and able to solve it. But really heads up a Freeman then to look to third to see if he could get the runner out. But on the line drive, no mistake made on the base paths. So that one's fouled away. Jackson Higginson has a walk, a sacrifice bunt, and he popped out to Cisneros last inning with runners still on second and third, but 2 outs now for the Dons as consecutive foul balls make this a 2-0 count on Jackson Higginson. Riley Hess is at third, and Tay Newman is at second. Don's able to add 3 runs to their lead so far this inning and looking to do more with 2 outs. Well struck, deep right field. Will it land fair? No, it won't. Ended up really looked like it had a shot at first, really ended up tailing out there at the end, but well struck ball there from Jackson. Or sorry, 0-2. This one into shallow center field. Going to be a tough play. It will drop. 1 run will score. 2 runs will score. 13-3, and the route is really on now for the Dons. And it looks like that one will end it with the 10-run rule coming into play. 13-3. The Dons come up big in the first, and then in the 6th, just untouchable. 13-3. That last 2-run double from Higginson spelled the end for the Ogden Tigers. Made a long trip to learn a hard lesson from a very talented Spanish Fork team. So your final is 13-3 with the extra base hits just started raining down with 3 doubles in inning number 6. So looking forward, this game, the winner will play the winner of Corner Canyon and Skyline. That game is happening right now. We do not have live scoring, so not sure what's going to end up coming forward to that, but that means that tomorrow we will be back with Spanish Fork because they are the 1 seed in this little quadrant, hosting either Corner Canyon or Skyline. And that'll be again at 4 o'clock tomorrow. But we want to thank you for tuning in. They took care of business pretty quick today. Just an hour and 40 minutes is your game time. Again, the Dons, look out, they'll be playing Corner Canyon or Skyline on the morrow and try and continue their march towards a 4A championship. But thanks again for tuning in to Spanish Fork 17's presentation of high school baseball. The Ogden Tigers suffer a difficult loss today, 13-3 to your Spanish Fork Dons. Once again, my name is Mitchell Marshall. I want to thank you for tuning in, and hopefully we'll see you tomorrow afternoon for a continued playoff run here on Spanish Fork 17, and have a great evening. And if you stay tuned on Channel 17, you'll get to see City Council. Have a great night.